Rone Geeks proudly presents Marvel's What If Zombies. The following audio may contain coarse language and other materials that may not be for a younger audience. The opinions expressed in this audio are solely those of the speakers involved. These conversations may contain spoilers for current media such as games, comics, movies, television shows, and more. Rone Geeks makes no claim to ownership of the various media discussed, simply the opinions expressed. Listener discretion is advised. Be sure to swing on by the Facebook group where we're 1,400 members strong, and we're talking about all the new game releases up there, so be sure to come on over for that. And swing on by the YouTube. We got 143 subscribers. You need a little bit more on that subscribe button. You see that beautiful red subscribe button on your screen? Be sure to hit that on the main page of YouTube. It's free, really helps the group out, much appreciated. And be sure to listen to the audio and content on anchor.fm/RoneAGeeks. And without further ado, Marvel's What If? And we have our usual group of Avengers. Long live Abner Krill.
First of
Tony
all,
above.
no, I'm not a fucking Avenger. Don't do that.
You're a Revenger. Of course you would. Anyway, moving ahead. Hey, Abner Krill is dead. How you doing?
Stop it.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I didn't, he didn't make it. He didn't make it.
But he
I'm a
still was a
hero.
superhero.
Splat.
No, I'm a superhero. That was his famous last words. Only thing we gotta do is get a piece of his ass, throw him in the pit, the Lazarus pit. Maybe he come back.
He did. You're not gonna waste
Yeah, he
Lazarus Pit on Polka Dot Man.
First
So,
of all,
gentlemen,
Polka Dot Man carried
anyway,
that fucking
Tony,
thing.
before you continue to redirect this conversation to elsewhere in a entity that is not part of Marvel's cinematic property, we're going to be talking about Marvel's What If, the zombie episode. Since you love talking today, what would you like to open with? What were your thoughts, feelings, reflections on zombies?
Let me tell you something. Again, not a letdown. This was a great episode. I was looking forward to this because when I read Marvel Zombies, I was like, okay, I need to see what the fuck this is all about. I will say I like the twist on how they became zombies. I think that was great. I think it was the perfect explanation with how the zombies came. And I like how the fact that when the Avengers joined the fight is when they actually lost the fight. I think that made a perfect point of once the tide turned, it was because you lost your greatest heroes. I will say that I love the cast of survivors. I loved Bucky and his Winter Soldier. I absolutely loved Okoye and her sacrifice. I loved how they kept Black Panther. His injuries were exactly what it was in the book. I will say that again, they did change how it happened, but that I believe was one of the things that needed to be the same. I will say that the Head in the Jar is a great shout out to the comic book, different characters, of course. But overall, I'm going to say I thoroughly enjoyed this one, probably as much as I did T'Challa and Star Lord, because that's still my favorite. But I'll say this is probably my number two. I mean,
Not
just top right,
surprising considering that, T'Challa's in both episodes.
right. But I will also say I love the fact that they showed them fuckers can't bite Hulk. That was hilarious. That was fucking funny because Hulk said, "I'm not turning." Nope. So I love that.
Yeah, Will, what are your thoughts and reflections on this episode?
I think everything that, all my feelings mirror Tony's and stuff like that. I think that everything was done very well. I like how the name as well as the symbolization of hope was prevalent,
Yep.
throughout the series and stuff like that so far, and it's really, reaching and stuff like that to, you know, touch you on those heartstrings and stuff like that. Um, and everything was utilized like correctly and stuff like that in terms of using the MCU setups to bring the story forward and stuff like that, and just make the alterations and stuff like that. So I'm enjoying everything. Everything's been great.
Yeah, it was definitely. I still stand by what I said about last episode. I know you guys completely disagree, and there's no further point in like rehashing that.
Everybody
But
does.
that's fine. Everybody can kiss the whitest part of my butt.
That's
So
all of it though, because you have no melanin.
they call me Snow White, baby.
I
anyway,
wouldn't tell nobody that.
moving further ahead, right back on topic because you just love tangents today because your Falcons suck monkey nuts.
They got their ass mud stomped by a kite.
Yep, now I feel
This is
significantly better. So, anyway, this episode was a very, very strong episode for me. I really liked it. It would be easily within my top 2 episodes of Marvel's What If entry thus far. There was a lot of humor. There was a lot of realism. The characters were utilized correctly, as Will and Tony both eloquently said. Everything was as it should be. Sure, the story was altered from what comically at one point in time is what they had, but it was altered in a way that made sense. It was realistic, and it was the Avengers were trying to do the right thing, but by trying to do the right thing when they didn't assess the potential hazard in the situation, that's where things went awry, and
yep.
it showed that their capabilities and strengths and powers are still being able to be utilized, albeit for evil because they were now zombies who just had these superhuman abilities and they weren't like weak zombies that you see in other movies where once they turn they're just
No, these
zombies.
motherfuckers was kicking down doors. They was kicking down bomb shelter doors. Like, okay.
And
Like for
Marvel's What
real.
If with a friendly reminder: Wanda is that Avenger. Everyone's just like, oh no, Bruce is the strongest Avenger. I'm pretty sure they had to lock Wanda up in a basement to try and keep her
But
from busting out and doing
we
damage.
do gotta mention that they were going toe to toe.
Mm-hmm.
It was Hulk was giving no give to Wanda. She was giving him what he wanted, and he was taking it, and he was coming.
It was a very
Now,
good fight, and like that'd be something that would be a
I would like to
huge
see
battle.
the rest of it
Mm.
because it was Wanda in a half world full of zombies against the Hulk. So I mean, that's pretty much fair.
Yeah. Any particular scenes that stuck out for you, Will, as like highlights of this episode, or something you want to draw attention to and discuss?
No, I mean, I think everything was pretty solid. I mean, the Happy Hogan Blam scene was freaking.
That shit was hilarious.
Shit had me freaking rolling. Like this man really saying Blam.
Sharon was like, "Are you saying blam?" He's like, "Did I?
Uh,
Oh, blam!"
so that honestly, I would love for them to. And granted, this may have been. I would like. I don't know how they would have done it exactly. I would have to think through it, so like that. But I would have wanted a little bit more pushback from Vision and stuff like that. He just kind of, you're right. I must atone, blah blah, stuff like that. I want to see a little bit more out of Vision and stuff like that, and him getting to the point of having to atone for what he's done. But Vision's a logical thinker and stuff like that. So the fact that he was doing what he was doing and stuff like that, and then he just turned around and flipped the script and said, you're right. I'll help you. It's like. And that I wasn't really sold on that part as much. So that I think they could have done that a little bit better. But those are the parts that just kind of stood out to me.
It was interesting that now he was willing to sacrifice himself when beforehand he was like, no, you guys have to kill me. I can't do it myself. It's like,
I'm finna
if
feed
you're as
Black
logical
Panther.
as you are, you should have just been like, well, I'm technically not human life or any other life, so there you go. Have a good day.
I had issue
Well, a
with
nice
that
little Uzi
because,
Vert moment there.
oh my God, don't say that. I mean, I would have to agree with that also because when Vision took himself out the mix, that took away your smartest guy. And for me, if Vision would have thought it through more, it would have made more sense to me on Vision to project the energy wave or whatever they was calling it out to keep the zombies out while they work on a possible cure. Because now you have more thinkers here, and it would just make more sense to me if he wouldn't have, self-destructed. Because once he did that, that took away the rest of any hope that I would have had. Because just Vision being there proved that the zombies weren't coming in, so they were safe. And the minute he took the life stone out of his head, here they come. So now everybody else is back in immediate danger.
It was
Kind of
definitely
didn't like that.
it was interesting. It was kind of one of the weirder points. The scene I kind of wanted to draw attention to was when they were in the train station and then Happy He's like, being slowly dragged away. He's bam, 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 bam.
That shit is
Long
still
pause.
hilarious.
Bam.
That shit is
And the
still
next thing you know, he's
hilarious.
turning. He's just like, that's probably how I would have gone out. It's like if you had given me like Tony Stark's repulsor technology, I would have been just bam, 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 bam all the time. I would
I would
have
have been
been
acting up.
childish. It's
I
like
agree.
it's the same way that like Ewan McGregor in Star Wars, like every time he made the lightsaber noises every time he swung it, and they had to edit it out. So like imagine having to spend hours upon hours editing stuff just because someone could not stop making a noise. But yeah, that scene made me laugh. It the end of the line reference from Bucky when he killed Zombie Steve Rogers was definitely that was very well placed. I thought that was very tactfully done. Anything that else that stuck out for you, Tony?
I will say the scene that I want to say the scene that made me be like, oh shit, was right when Happy died, and then Peter realized it, and he started going through all the people he lost, and we was like, God damn, this kid has been through a lot. It was like, okay, and then they had to remind him, hey, you're an Avenger now. You have to fight through it. And right at that moment, he became the light that they needed because he was like, okay, I'm gonna keep being happy. This is why I'm happy. This is why I'm always gonna have hope. This is why I'm always gonna be jovial. I can't get down because of this, and I've lost the most. So I think that right there proved the point on not only the character of Spider-Man, but how Peter Parker works as a character.
I mean, Peter is undoubtedly one of the strongest emotional characters in Marvel Comics, in my opinion. And I know Will knows Spider Man like that, so he knows that as long as Peter's happy, things are pretty good. But the moment Peter decided to snap,
Like
and
when he beat
Ask
the shit out
Kingpin.
of
With
Ask
the Kingpin,
Kingpin.
Kingpin. I was about to say, like he beat the shit out of Kingpin. Like, I know you know my identity. I don't care. This is what's gonna happen. I was like, ooh.
it's like as soon as he snaps, things get done. And he snapped himself back into place, forced himself back to being happy, and he started carrying the team and started leading the way that Tony Stark believed that he could, and proved Tony ultimately right with everything that was going on. And it was definitely a nice touch. Growing Geeks, be sure again to like the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that little notification bell. Next week, we're still looking forward to I believe next week's episode is the Nebula episode. Will, or is
Um,
it Gamora where she
Look,
replaces?
I
I
need
don't know. We're
another
gonna know this.
zombie.
Look, we got
I
we
need
got
another
freaking
zombie.
yeah. We still got Party Thor, freaking Killmonger, Nebula, and Gamora stuff. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna go. We saw Thanos at the end of that with the
Right. We
with the
can't just not
gauntlet
mention
with
that.
with 5 stones. He doesn't have the 6, so he's got 5 stones, and he's looks like he's about to do some fucking damage. So it's
You
about
gotta
to
think
get real interesting.
all that shit they went through, and now they gotta fight zombie Thanos. Like without Hulk. I'm like, God damn.
They're
And we don't
doomed.
know if Hulk is done yet, though. That's one thing.
Hulk's not done because once they did that, I'm honestly believing that's why they showed Hulk still has that, hey, I'm not going to die mentality because he knows if Bruce dies, he's going to most likely go too. Because they have, even though in a couple of Marvel books like the end, they've shown that Hulk can survive without Banner. I don't know if they are going to actually put that in the MCU or the what ifs. So I think they're going to keep it that if Banner dies, Hulk's going to die. So that's why I really thought that when Banner was running out into the zombie, he's like, "Fuck it, Hulk, you're gonna come out and help." And then you only thing you saw was Banner put that arm up, and that one arm turned green. That was it. Nothing else turned green, and that was them showing us that Hulk still has that. No, I'm not going out like this. And then eventually he turns.
He
So
reluctantly helped, but I mean, yeah.
he still has self preservation in his mind right now. So and then him going toe to toe with the Scarlet Witch. But I like Will said, I don't think he's done, but I need another episode of this.
Yeah, and you know what happened with Bucky too. Bucky got
Yeah,
thrown,
he
but
did get thrown.
He got
we didn't
yeeted.
see. Yeah, so we got to see what happened with
It's
Bucky too.
I think it's a lot more unanswered questions in this episode than all the other ones.
So this one will be the episode that where we have an interconnected universe through another
I
episode within this season.
This might be the one where all the other episodes come back to help.
Hmm.
Hopefully, I need closure. I need to know what happened.
Will,
You
is
can't give
there
us a good episode and then take it away. Can't do that.
as far me and Tony kind of gave it a rating of like the top 3 within this series. Where would you place this episode if you had to do a systematic ranking?
I mean, I'm not gonna give it a ranking. I definitely think that because of the gravity of the situation, so that it's in the top 3 for sure. But I'm not gonna give you a 1, 2, or 3. Like,
Will never does that. He
Will
never
is
ranks
allergic to
anything.
rankings. He would be horrible in sports combat, like it's a sports role as an
It's
analyst.
like,
Like, all right,
Will,
rank a top 5.
give
Well,
us your
they're
top
in there
5 movies.
somewhere.
Give us your top 5 movies. Well, I'm not going to put them in order, but these are the movies I watch. That's the type of shit he does.
It's
that's
what
the
he
shit
did during
I've
our top
done.
5 series.
Yeah, go check
several
our
things about
top 5 saying, hey, you're giving us your top 5 Marvel villains. Okay, well, in no particular order.
So you defeated the whole purpose of the assignment.
That's the whole
you
purpose of the
understood
video.
assignment, but skipped it.
See? Fucking ass.
Still doing it again. But also, we have our top 5 series. We have our What's the Topic series. We did a whole bunch of villain rankings because for some reason everyone else does not want to touch villains, which I don't understand. Villains are great characters. And
Hey, I know our next top 5 we can do.
Which will be?
Top 5 reasons Will is not a body double for Jason Momoa.
I'm pretty sure the height would be the first
I
thing
can
that comes to
do
mind.
that myself.
Yeah, but you got to put it in order. You got to put it in order.
No,
Height.
freaking.
See?
Not gonna happen. I think Killmonger is next, though. I think we still need to get more characters lined up before we get to the resolution of this. So,
anything else we gentlemen would like to discuss about this episode, or we feel like we're pretty succinctly wrapped up with what we have going on here?
I think we're pretty good. I think everything's a nice little package freaking underneath Star Wars' foot. I mean, I think it's done. We smashed it.
I did like this episode.
All right, so everyone feels like everything is pretty succinctly wrapped up. So, Grana Geeks, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to hit that beautiful red subscribe button right under the bottom right of this video. Pretty self-explanatory. It's free. It really helps the page out, lets us know what you like, what you don't like, and shows their support for everything going on. As Tony tries to sneak off screen before I let him know.
I'm trying to watch the game without you knowing.
Yeah, I don't think slowly sneaking off is the way to do it. Will, thank you for being on topic today, because somebody is very distracted because our favorite time of the year is up, and that's why I don't have a TV in this room. I'd be doing the same damn thing. So, for Brent, Tony, and Will, I think there's something you'd like to say, Tony.
Hello.